In this video, we are going to count numbers with unique digits. Hello, I'm Jagan from growwithdata. I am posting this video to share my knowledge in Python language with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation anyways, I will be happy. Let's see a sample input data and we can talk about the questions in detail. So we are given two variables, x a equal to 1 and b equal to 20. So what we have to do is we have to find the numbers between the intervals 1 and 20, including 1 and 20. We have to see how many numbers we have, and then out of those numbers, we have to find the numbers with unique digits. For example, if you go with this 1 to 20, right? So out of this 20 numbers, only 11 is the only number which got duplicate digits. The 1 and 1 got repeated. So you ignore that 11 and you get 19 numbers without any duplicate digits. If you see the interval between 9 and 19, 11 is the only number with duplicate digits. So we get only 10 numbers. If you find numbers between 80 and 120, if you see 110 to 119, all the numbers having duplicate digits like 11. 1 is getting repeated. And in 99, 9 is getting repeated. In 100, 0 is getting repeated. 101, 1 is getting repeated. And 88, 8 is getting repeated. If we ignore all those numbers with duplicate digits, we get only 27 numbers without any duplicate digits. So that is what is expected from us. So they will be given two intervals, A and B. We have to find all the numbers between that interval and those numbers without any duplicate digits. We have to find those count. Before we go into the coding part of it, there are few Python functions we have to be familiarized with. The first one we can say is how to convert the integer to a string. Okay. For example, we are given s equal to 1456. What is the type of this variable? How to do it? So we just say print type of s. So this will give you the type as integer. And how will you convert that to a string? Say s equal to string of s. Now if you print the type, it will show you a string. So if you want to read every digit from a number, it's easy to convert that to a string and we can read it. For example, you say for I in s, print I, right? So this will read every digit in a number. After converting that to string, it's very easy to do that. So if you want to read every digit from the number without converting that to a string, it's a little bit of tricky. We have done that in our previous exercise, like to check if a number, the reverse of a number is the same, right? So how we did that? We just say while s is greater than 0, we say print yes, and then sorry, yes mod 10. The mod will give you the remainder, right? And then we just say yes equal to yes divided by 10. So integer division, so it will ignore the remainder. So when you do that, it will read the numbers from right to left, ones, tens, 100 and 1000. It read from right to left. So in that way, we can read every digit in a number. Okay, so this is the first one. The second part is how will you concatenate a string? So if I have two strings, so how will I concatenate that? So for example, you say y equal to AB, z equal to CD. So how will I add both? You just say y plus z. So it will just add the string. You don't have to use concat or any other function. You can just simply do a arithmetic addition. So it will just concatenate both the strings. The third one is how will you check if an digit exists in a number, or you can say a character exists in a string, right? How will you do that? So for example, you say s equal to grow with data. Right? I have to find if a number I exists in the string yes. So we just say I in yes. It will say true or false. And it is case sensitive. If I say capital I, it will say false because there is no capital I in it. But if I want to see the small I can say I in yes, you get it. You can find the index position also, but we don't need that at this point in time. So we simply do that. And the final one is, given a string or an integer, how will you convert that to a list? For example, you say yes equal to 2024. Sorry, 2024. How will you convert that to a list? You simply say list of yes. It will just break this string to a list with every element, right? If it's a integer, you know how to convert that to a string and you can just do it, right? Fine. So these are all the key points we have to know before we start the coding part. Now what we have to look for, given two intervals a and b, we have to find all the numbers in between those intervals, and then you figure out if there is any number with duplicate digits. Okay. Okay, let's start with our main thing, def grow with data. So we have a and b as variable and we create a function here. We declare a variable result where it's going to store the values. This is the traditional way of doing it. Okay, we are going to talk about a couple of types. Okay, the first approach is a traditional way of doing a for loop. For, we say, number in, we have to have the range a comma b plus 1. So why you put b plus 1? In the range, the last number won't be considered, right? For people who are new to Python, I can just tell you this. We say for I in range 1 to 5, print I. So if I say a range of 1 to 5, right? If I do that, it just go with 1 and ends a number before that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for us, we are given two variables a and b. We have to find all the numbers including the given number 1 to 20. So we simply add b plus 1 to it to make sure we show all the number, we consider all the numbers. We say print the number. Okay, we'll call the function. So it will just print 1 to 20. That means we are considering both the given numbers. So that's good. So now what we have to do, we have to check if any number in this interval having repeated digits, like we have to track the 11. How to do that? We just convert this to a string. Okay, so whatever the number comes, we convert that to a string, and we are going to have another variable check for digit in yes. Okay, so the string conversion will, for example, 10, right? Just convert that to a string, and we are going to read every digit in that string. Okay, if the digit in the check. So what is the check? We are going to do it now. Check is nothing but a chk, chk equal to chk plus digit. So what will the check do? It will read through those numbers and then it will just add that digit to its variable. So check will add every digit to it. And before adding it, we'll check if that digit already exists. If that already exists, that means that number having repeated digits, we are just breaking the loop, right? So at the end, we just say if the check is equal to yes, then result equal to result plus 1. So what we are doing here, we are breaking the given number to a string and we are reading every digit and we are checking if that digit exists in the variable check, because the check is just adding all the digits one by one. So if the digit already exists in the check, that means we say, oh, that digit is duplicated, so you break that digit, so you don't consider that number. And if the loop goes fine, we just say yes, that number is not having a repeated digit because the string and the check variable is same. So you just increment the result. Now we return the result, right? It just shows 19. So we talked about three different variables, right? So three different input parameters. We tried that. So all three are pass. So this looks good. So the main thing what we do, the conversion part. So the string of number converts the input range from 1 to 20, right? So that will be converted to a string, and then we read that string one digit at a time, and then we check if that digit exists in the string we are concatenating. If that exists, then we say it's a duplicate, break that. If it not exists, we just coming and saying yes, this is a number without any duplicate digits, we increment it, right? So this is a normal way of doing it. Instead of string, we can simply have a list, which is one of the easier way. So instead of saying check equal to check plus digit, we just say check dot append digit. So in that way, instead of a string, it will be moved to a list. So what else should be done? Digit in check break else check equal to check plus, oh sorry, you don't have to use check, it's not a variable. Check dot append. Okay, so here this will be a list. So we are comparing list to a string, right? So if you want to print this here, okay, this will be shown as a list, right? So we are comparing a list with string here, so it's going to throw an error. So how will you convert a list to a string? Remember we did that before. We have 1 and 2, we simply say dot join this, so 1 and 2. So we are going to do that here. We just say dot join the list when you compare with it. So we don't have to print it. So it will get all the digit one by one into the list and check if that digit exists in that list. If it exists, that means a duplicate, you break. If not, you concatenate or append to the list and you save the list properly. Okay, so previously we use a string. The easier way is you can use a list and compare it. So if the interviewer say you should not convert that to a number, right? You should not convert that to a number, but you have to find the duplicates. Then how will you do it? We just said the mod function part of it, right? So we are going to try that. So how will it that? Instead of the for loop, we just tried the if condition, right? So we just go this way. So we say while. So we just say range this, we should not convert that to a string. So we just say, just save this number. Okay, I'm telling you why. And then we have a checklist. We say while the number is greater than 0. So previously, in example, we just showed that, right? Where is it? The yes is greater than 0. We are going to use this logic here. So we say while the number is greater than 0, we say I equal to the number mod 10. We get the last digit. Say if the last digit in the list, then you break, else check dot insert 0 comma I. So what is the difference between check dot append, the list dot append and list dot insert? So previously we have a list equal to 1 2 3, right? If you say lst dot append 4 and you say list, it will append to the last position. But if I want to do it in the first position, what will I do? List dot insert. We just give which position to insert and then we give which element to insert. So if you give the position as 0, it just go to the 0th position, it will insert. If I say 2, it will point to the 0 1 2. So between 2 and 3, it will insert 4. So insert will make sure which position it has to get inserted. So I am just trying to insert this way. So it will just add to the the left part of it. So now we just say if the condition is here already. If this is equal to the POS, right? So we have assigned this number. So whatever the number is, we are just checking the, if you are breaking this and okay, so POS is a number and this goes with what? Check. So what should I do? So why this is 1, we just do this, check, break, if not this. And yes, we have to convert this number, remember, to the number equal to number by 10 so that the while loop works fine. So we just clear the number with the last digit and you can go back and get the second. And then we have to convert this to an integer because the check is a list, right? Now we are going to convert that to an integer and we have to do for z in check is string of z. So this is a pain if you want to convert this because the check will have the integer, but when you want to join, it has to be a string. So we convert that every digit to a string and then we convert back to the integer. So the main part is you have to make sure the number is getting looped in by removing the 0th position, right? Every time you remove the 0th position and then you just add that to the list and make sure whatever the final value in the check is equal to the input value. If there is a duplicate, then it will be a break. If not, you'll just get to it, right? So this is the key point. Mod, you check the remainder and then add that to the list, and every time you check if that number exists. If that number exists, give a break. If not, finally whatever we put that in the check is equal to the input number. If that is the input number, you can just do that. So all this pain point, right, going into the loop and all that. So do we really need this pain, or is there a simple way to do that? So these are a traditional way of checking it. But if the interviewer just want only the result, they don't want to see how you are proceeding with it, the easier way to do it is there is a something called set, right? The list and the set, the main difference is the set don't carry the duplicates. For example, you see 3 4 4 4, right? List can carry the duplicates. So we have 2 3s and 3 4s. So if you say set of list, it will just get only the distinct of values. right? So we are going to use that logic now. So instead of carrying all this, what we can do is we can just get this result equal to 0. Just say for I in range a comma b plus 1, right? We just say s equal to list string of I. Okay, so we get every number and then we convert that to a string and then get as a list, right? Now we just say if the length of that list, sorry, the length of the list equal to the length of set of the list, right? Then we just say result equal to result plus 1. Now we just say return result. Return result. So what we are doing here, we are not complexing anything. We just break the input variable. Like for example, it's like 100, right? So we just say a equal to 100. What we are doing, we are doing string of a, which is going to make that as a string, and then we say list of string of a, which make as a list, right? Now we just say set of all this. So it will get only 0 and 1. So when you check the length of the first list of string of a without converting that to string, right? We say print the list. So 100, when you say the length of this is going to be 3. But when you say change that to a set, it will get the distinct of it. Now if you get the length of the set, it's not going to be same like put anything more. Print length of set of list. We have 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so when you find the length of the set of the list, then if there is duplicate, then it's not going to match with the first one. So it's very simple. We read every number, we convert that to a list and compare the length of the list equal to the length of the set of the list, right? So it will just make sure if there is duplicates, it throw error. If not, it just brings the exact length. So it will be pass. So we just do that in the result. So instead of going with all the for loop and while loop, if the interviewer just wants only the result, we can simply do the set value for it instead of going for all this painful process. Hope you like this video and thanks for watching.